a person has to see to it that he should serve God for the sake of God. For the sake of God. For instance, let's say a person sins, and because he sins, he becomes discouraged. He becomes discouraged, and therefore he wants to give up on everything. So here it's written as follows. Sometimes the Yetzer Hara comes to a person and he fools him. He tricks him. He tells him that he sinned with a great sin. Even though the thing that the person did is only really a chumrah, or it's not an avera at all. The kavanosoi, and the kavan of the Yetzer Hara, the intent of the Yetzer Hara is the intent of the Yetzer Hara is that the person should become ba'atzvus, that he should become discouraged, depressed. And because of that, because of that, because of his absence, because of his discouragement and depression, he should be discouraged and give up on his divine service. And a person needs to understand a person needs to understand this trickery of the Yetzer Hara. And he should tell the Yetzer Hara, I'm not paying attention to this chumrah, to this stringency that you're mentioning. Because your kavanah, your intent is to mess me up. Your intent is to distract me, push me away from serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And you speak lies. And even if the thing that the Yetzer Hara is to the language is somewhat conservative, even if it really is a shtickle of an aveda, a bit of an aveda, even if it is a bit of an aveda, it will be more pleasing to my Creator. It will be more pleasing to my Creator that I should not pay attention to the stringency that you are telling me about in order to cause me to become discouraged and depressed in my service. On the contrary, I will serve the Lord with joy. For this is a great klal, a great general rule. That my intent and my avodah, my service is not it's not for myself. My intent is to bring about, to be pleasing before Him. To make an achasruach for him, to cause him to be pleased with me, to cause him to be pleased. The in came, and therefore, therefore, even if I won't pay attention, this stringency which you're bringing up, the Creator will not be angry with me. Everything that I'm not. Everything, the whole business, that I'm not paying attention to this stringency. The fact that I'm not paying attention to this stringency is only in order that I shouldn't become discouraged and distracted from the divine service. How can I allow myself to be distracted from the service? Even for one moment. And that is a general rule in the service of the Creator that one ought to take care to avoid discouragement to the greatest extent possible, to avoid discouragement and depression to the greatest extent possible. Okay. Another shtickle like that. A little more, perhaps a little more forceful. That when a person wants to do things, mitzvahs, so one might think that the proper way to engage in divine service is to have all kinds of tiktukim and chumrah stringencies, to be worried all the time about getting things exactly right, and worrying about doing it with tremendous exactitude, getting this right and that right, worrying about every halacha, worrying about every shiur, and so on. But he says, a person should not do too much to get into diktukim yisayim, too many stringencies, taking care about too many things in everything he does. That is the intent of the Yitzhahara. Last is the moide to make a person afraid. Maybe he wasn't yoitze. Maybe he didn't fulfill his obligation with this thing in order to bring him to atzvus, to discouragement and depression. And discouragement, depression is a tremendous obstacle in avoidance in the service of the Creator, Yisbarach. And even if a person was nichshel ba'aveda, over here he says it clearly. I feel nichshel ba'aveda, even if a person in fact stumbled and he sinned, he shouldn't fall into much discouragement. In that way, the divine service will be his divine service will be nullified. He won't engage in divine service because he'll be too discouraged. He should be sad about the Veda. But then he should go right away, go back to be happy, to rejoice in the Creator. Since he completely regrets that Veda, the sin of and he has in mind never to go back to his foolishness. And even if he knows himself, even if he knows himself that in a certain thing, in fact, he didn't succeed in carrying out the obligation that was incumbent upon him because he had different kinds of difficulties, let him not be discouraged and depressed. And he should think he should think that the Creator the Creator knows the heart, knows the inner workings of a person, and that God knows God knows that this person, that I want to get it right, but I'm not able to. And he should strengthen himself, encourage himself to rejoice in the Creator. May he be blessed. Okay, so now let's have another sticker. Maybe so Shem. That the pasuk says the pasuk and the Navi says that your thoughts are not my thoughts, your ways are not my ways. The simple understanding of the pasuk is that we can't understand the ways of God and so on. But over here it's brought from Baal Shem that he darshaned it like this: that your thoughts are not my thoughts and your ways are not my ways. So what does it mean? Pirish ki kasher odo mafred satzmei Hashem Yisbarach. When a person separates himself from Hashem Yisbarach, apparently that means that as soon as he's not in dveikis, as soon as he's not thinking about the Eibishter, not focused on the Eibishter, as soon as he's not in dveikis, pirish ki kasher odo mafred satzmei Hashem Yisbarach. As soon as a person separates himself from Hashem Yisbarach, miyad hu oived avodah zarah. As soon as a person separates himself from Hashem Yisbarach, he's right away over avodah zarah. Ve'ein dover memutze. There's nothing in the middle. There's no space in the middle. V'zev v'santem v'avadatem. And the Baal Shem Tov dashes it like that. That kiloi machshavoisai machshavoiseicha. Your thoughts are not my thoughts. If you're thinking about your own things, if you're thinking about your own things, you're not thinking about my things. You're not thinking about divine things. You're thinking about your own things. Then it's loy machshavoisai. You're already separate from God. Machshavoiseicha